I want to give you time. I want to be a good father to you. Come here.
You got that.
Look at me. I want to be there for you. I want to show you everything that a dad is supposed to show you.
What?
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 I got to teach you responsibilities.
Huh?
Responsibilities.
Huh?
Responsibilities. Responsibilities.
Huh?
I gotta teach you good etiquettes. What? You know what etiquette is? Good manners. You know what manners is?
Mm-hmm.
What's manners?
Mm.
Manners is like this. When somebody open it, somebody give you something, what you say?
Mm-hmm.
When I give you something, what you say? Say what? Say thank you.
Thank you.
That's etiquette.
It all starts at home. The parent. The parent has to teach the child how to conduct themselves. And many times they go out and they don't do it. But when you teach them what that Bible says, it won't depart. That's what the Bible says. Train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they get old, it will not depart. So you have to tell them, you have to train them, and they can carry that in every part of their lives. They can carry it in school, when they're in the shopping store, wherever they're at, when they get married, when they have children. And this is what's missing in our society. And that's not only in black society, but it's in every society. I'm talking about every race of people. We need to humble ourselves, get before God, receive Him in our hearts, and live right. And we'll have a better world.
Growing up in Trenton, right? So, you know Pop. I told you he wasn't from Trenton, he's from Georgia, right? And he's been in Trenton since 1954, 55. And at that time, when Pop came up here, he was about 7 or 8 years old. And where he grew up in Georgia at, they were sharecroppers. Basically what that meant was they lived on the land, they worked on the land, and they worked there 5 days a week, all day, and then on Saturday a half a day, and then Sunday they went to church. So being down south, things were different from being up here. And being down south, it was very segregated. That basically means whites over here, blacks over here. And he's from Moultrie, Georgia. If you go down there, which we probably will again, there's water fountains that still say whites only and blacks only. And so growing up in a place like that, it was a shock for him to move up here. And he went to school for about 2 months. And when he went to school, the teacher had made a recommendation to the principal that the principal needs to talk to his mother, my grandmother, your great-grandmother. So the teacher talked to his mother, my grandmother, and the principal talked to his mother. They called your grandfather, my father, in the room, and they told his mother in front of him, "We think he's deaf." And his mother was like, "My son's not deaf." And they said, "Well, since he's been in class, he hasn't said one word yet." And my grandmother looked at my father and was like, "Perry, let them know you're not deaf." So my father looks at them and looks back at his mother, and she said, "Do what I told you to do, son." Looks back at them and he lets them know, "I'm not deaf." So the teacher looks Perry in his face, your grandfather, my father, and says, "Why aren't you talking, son?" And he said, and I quote, "You had me sitting next to a white girl, and if I talk to her, you're going to kill me." So in his mind, because where he came from in Moultrie, Georgia, if you talk to a white girl, you can get killed for it. So it took him a while to adjust to being in schools that had white and black people in it. And so for him, it was a culture shock. What I mean by that was it was hard for him to adjust to being around different races and different people. And so for him, it was about adjusting and learning. And so when I grew up, they wanted me to understand that you can interact with different people and that people are just people, no matter what their race is or what their color is. You don't judge a person by how much money they have or their race or the language they're speaking. You judge people for their actions and what they do, not because of how they look. And so for me, the best advice I can give to you is to treat people with respect. It's not prejudge, not think a person is a certain way because they come from a certain part of the world or a certain part of Trenton. Just treat people the right way. What's even better is treat people how you like to be treated. How you like to be treated.
Nicely.
Nicely? So what if somebody came in here right now and said, you know what, I don't like him because he has green hair? How would that make you feel?
Sad.
Sad, yeah. But Trenton has a lot to offer. Sometimes people say it doesn't, but you play sports, right?
Yes.
Tell me a sport you play in Trenton that you like so much.
I play lacrosse.
I can't hear you. What?
I play lacrosse.
You play lacrosse. Tell me about lacrosse and playing lacrosse in Trenton.
So, what I like about lacrosse is that when you as scoop up the ball,
Mm-hmm.
you can do your fake trick and I throw it and then the ball just rolls out, but you do it on purpose. When you play the launch, I go at me like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ball just falls out and I shoot it and make a fake shot and then you pick it back up and throw it.
So how do you feel being on the field representing your city, Trenton, and you got your whole uniform on and you got guys been playing for years and you just learning how to play? How does it make you feel going out there and just dominating and scoring and beating them to the ball? How does that make you feel?
Good.
Makes you feel good? I'm glad you feel good. That's the same feeling you should have. I know us playing different schools, when they come and see into our city and they're kind of nervous, but you just go out there and go hard, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just keep on doing the right thing and not judging people based upon where they come from and how they look. Because our city has a lot of great things that happens and that goes on. Remember that. All right?
Yes.